Hello, kings and queens, and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. As you're coming in, I hope you're having a great week so far. So many things to talk about and to get into. So I want to welcome you to the conversation. And if you're new to the conversation, welcome. And just check back for when I post videos. I'm not on a schedule of posting videos. I have so many irons in the fire, plates, things that I'm like a juggler trying to meet all my obligations, but this is one of them. I feel like it's important for us to come together periodically and talk about some things. So today I have a bit of good news to share coming from the criminal justice system, and that is that the DA in Manhattan, the district attorney's office in Manhattan, has said that he is going to press charges against Amy Cooper for filing that false 911 claim back in the weekend of Memorial Day against Christian Cooper. And in case you forgot, because there are so many things going on, you probably forgot, I want to show you this picture. This is Amy Cooper, the white woman in the park with the dog. And this is Christian Cooper, black man, bird watcher in the park. Now, they're not related. They just happen to have the same last name. And essentially, the story was she was walking her dog in the park. He was bird watching in the park. She did not have her dog on a leash. And so he asked her, can you put your dog on a leash, because it is the law. And so because someone asked her to do something and corrected her, because apparently she had a high-paying job and maybe she thinks she knows everything and nobody should correct her. But this day in the park, she was doing something that was against the rules. He asked her to put her dog on a leash, and all hell broke loose because now she's upset because somebody is correcting her, probably because it was a black man correcting her. So she goes on and says, you're harassing me, and I'm going to call the police and tell them an African-American man is harassing me. So he's got video of her saying all this on video and calling the police and acting frantic, sounding frantic, saying I'm being harassed and all these things. And so it turns out that he sent the video to, I think, his sister. His sister posted it. It went viral. And then Amy got fired. And maybe Amy's in the unemployment line with everyone else. But I bet you, now that I'm saying that, probably Amy has people taking care of her. So she probably don't have to worry about getting in the unemployment line like some people. But at any rate, a month and a half, 6 weeks later, the DA agrees that it was a crime, a third-degree crime, for her to do that. And so he's moving forward with pressing charges. But here's the bad news. Christian Cooper, black man, has said that he is not going to participate in the prosecution of Amy Cooper because he was quoted as saying she has suffered enough. That's what he said. Now, I think that Christian Cooper is having a crisis, an identity crisis, because he has forgotten that he's a black man in America, and that he has forgotten that people like Amy Cooper have gotten countless black men killed over false accusations and false allegations. Okay, if we can look back further than Emmett Till, we can look further back than that. But let's start with Emmett Till. Let's start with Ezekiel Elliott. He had a girlfriend, white girlfriend, who he had in college when he went pro. She claimed that he was hitting her and beating on her. Remember that whole scene? There have been countless people. I had my little list: Ezekiel Elliott, Emmett Till. We've got, even if you go back to Black Wall Street in Greenwood, Oklahoma. That white people burned down Black Wall Street in Oklahoma over a white woman's allegations that a Black man touched her, did something to her. Rosewood, Florida, they made a movie of that. Rosewood, Florida was destroyed. It was a Black community that was destroyed after allegations of a white woman being assaulted. And there are countless people who have been killed, hung, communities burned down over people like this woman. They're calling her Central Park Karen, over people like her who have made false allegations. So for Christian Cooper to think that it's all about Amy, who some say is a soft terrorist because she's a soft domestic terrorist who makes claims, and then, I mean, who's to say if the police would have shown up, what she would have done to substantiate her false 911 call had it not been on video? Had he not had that on video, she could have said he tried to rape her, and she wouldn't have been the first person to lie, the first white woman to have lied on a Black man. Okay, so we know that we're in the middle of trying to get funds redirected from the police departments right now because of the way Black people are treated by police officers. They're bullied, they're lied on, which he had already been lied on. So who's to say whether the police would have lied on him? They could have killed him. We've had men to die in police custody and then they claim, oh, they had a gun, or we've seen people die on video who were unarmed. Okay, so for Christian Cooper to think that it's all about just Amy is a representation of the hatred that has gone on for hundreds of years. She knew her power, and in that moment, she chose to do bad. She chose to call and lie and summon police officers who are known to be some of them racist, bully, liar, killer cops. So when the DA has the DA's department in Manhattan has chosen to take steps forward to do the right thing and charge her with a crime, this Black man says, oh, I think she suffered enough. Well, it's not all about you. It's not all about her. It's about the countless, about the past and the future. So I want us as Black people in America to start to think about the consequences of our actions and our verbiage and how it could hurt us as a community. Remember when you were growing up? I know when I was growing up, and you might, if you're too young to remember that, before Black people did anything, we would ask ourselves, is this going to embarrass my parents? Is this going to embarrass my community? I'm sorry, I got on the like a sports bra and it keeps showing, and I don't like that. But anyway, we have to be more community minded. I would, and I still do that to this day. And I know I'm probably too old to be doing that, but when it's ingrained in you, you just take some things with you. Before I say things and do things, I think, how is this going to impact other people who care about me? How is this going to impact my community and how I'm looked at? Because I'm a representation. And even if I am my own person, and I make my own decisions, but even now to this day, when people look at me, they look at Black women, they look at Black people, they look at tall people, I'm a representation about that. And I would hope that people like Christian Cooper, who find themselves in a position to act on behalf of the community, I would hope that they would do the right thing or do the thing that's in the best interest of the community. He had enough sense to videotape it, probably to help him in a situation where, in case the police did show up, he had enough sense to do that. But now he doesn't have enough sense to go through the process of prosecution. And so I just hope that we as a community start to think more about what's better for our families and our communities, and think less about what's better for us individually. It seems like since we now have the choice of eating at the counter of a restaurant, of entering through the front door instead of the back, since we have a choice of sitting at the front of the bus or the back of the bus, since we have a choice of working in a certain job where we couldn't get a job before, since we have the choice of marrying who we want to marry and loving who we want to love, and it seems like we now feel like we've arrived. And that's not to say that we haven't made progress or that American society hasn't progressed, but there are instances that continue to show us that we have not gotten as far as we thought we had. And so that, I think a lot of it has to do with the community efforts that we had 40 or 50 years ago, that now we kind of like have an individual agenda, and it's people, like it leads Christian Cooper to think that he doesn't have an obligation to the community to follow through with the prosecution. Now, that's not to say that she still can't be prosecuted, because she's only being prosecuted because of the video. Because if they didn't have the video, it would have been his word against hers, and ain't no telling what would have happened to him. But he still doesn't realize that. So as we move forward in this saga, hopefully the video is all that is needed for her to be prosecuted, because she essentially was misusing the system for her benefit. So regardless if it was Christian Cooper or someone else, or another person, there needs to be laws, and people need to be held accountable for misusing the 911 system. In fact, I would like for there to be some type of a rule, a law, when you call 911, before they put you through, they said there's like a 10-second delay, because that's really all it takes, is to say, you're about to make a 911 phone call, and if we find out that it's not true, you could be prosecuted or fined. And that only took me 7 seconds, and that was off the top of my head, okay? So so people need to be held accountable, regardless of if he wants to go through it or not. My phone has not rung all day, and now people calling me and texting me. Maybe they looking in or something. Let me get it off the table so I can quit texting. Don't you hate that when you waiting on the call and it doesn't come? Then you start doing something else, then everybody start calling. So at any rate, if you know a Christian Cooper, if you know somebody who is not fulfilling their obligation to the community, can you just show them this video and let them know that we need to be in this together? We need to not have an identity crisis in the middle of a pandemic, and in the middle of all that we are trying to do to get things, to get our $20 trillion in our reparations, and our redirecting the funds from the police department, and our ceasing of redlining, and we're trying to build our community and our multiple streams of income and build up more Black Wall Streets. We need everybody on the same page. We don't need people to cry victim one day, and then the month later when we got them at the courthouse, then they're like, oh no, that's okay. That just defeats the whole purpose, and it makes us as Black people in America look weak as hell. And I'm not weak. So at any rate, That's all I want to share with you. Share this video though. And if you want to know about the other things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at EUR Web. That's Electronic Urban Radio Web.com. Thank you so much and have a super day. Mwah.